I'm very excited to be here again for year 2, and thank you to Ingrid and Beth for all the support for us and the industry. So the NFB has been producing for over 73 years, and I've been producing for the internet since 1994, and I still feel like we're still at the beginning of the digital storytelling age. We've created several new forms of interactive works over the last few years. We've embraced failure, much like Lance said in our experimentation. We failed a lot, we fail often, and we definitely embrace it. We're very honored to have won lots of awards over the last few years. Bear 71 just won FWA Site of the Year, and we're up for 4 Webby Awards for Bear, and also a Webby Award for a new project called Here at Home. But I'm even happier that people are making great work, from the work that the TFI is supporting to the work being done across the Atlantic by Arte and their great docs Alma and Gaza Sardot in Prison Valley, and the New York Times Snowfall, and the new crop of that I'm seeing in development. The new forms that we've created, the interactive documentary and interactive animation, are in their infancy, but picking up steam thanks to ITFA Doc Lab and TFI. So here's a sample of our work from the last few years in case you haven't seen it.
That snare had a breaking strength of 2 tons. I know I'm wearing a VHF collar and I have my own radio frequency. They also gave me a number. Bear 71. Banff National Park in the heart of the Canadian Rockies. Bears and humans here live closer together than any other place on Earth. That explains the radio collar constantly beeping my location to some ranger playing God. There are 15 remote sensing cameras in my home range, plus infrared counters and barbed wire snags to collect my hair.
Je m'en vais au marché d'ici pour acheter des têtes. Des têtes, des grosses têtes, des petites têtes, toutes sortes de têtes, encore des têtes, seulement des têtes, des têtes, des jours, des têtes, pas long, des têtes. J'aimerais ta vie.
Mouse click. Click. Mouse click.
I was 9, living in Yellowknife, and went there for a hockey tournament. Atom League, 10 and unders. I don't remember much. The 45-minute plane ride, those giant propellers. This isn't the plane. My team's not on it. But it is Pine Point, around the time I was there.
We're here at the mouth of the St. Lawrence River, and we're studying the Beluga Whales. This is a very threatened population.
My name is Zanilia. I make music, write poetry, act, anything that has to do with entertainment.
Once a month I'll do brunch. I get $20 for
make him breakfast. Not a whole lot, but it helps. It gives me something to do. It keeps me out of trouble.
It's your turn now to invest part of your night.
I don't sleep very well. I guess my mind is usually too active to sleep, or sometimes I'm just not comfortable.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So most of the work I showed you there was work done for the desktop, for the browser, using Flash. Now, computers are trucks, and yes, I'm quoting Steve Jobs, and I'm also channeling the head of the NFB, Tom Perlmutter, who foresaw the tablet shift. We all saw in the data in 2011 that by 2016, the mobile phone would become the primary computing platform, especially as the rest of the world came online, and they would turn to smartphones. So we started testing some adaptations of some of the projects for iPhone and iPad, but we weren't really happy with the results of adapting and decided to change our approach in the last few months. So in January, the data told us that tablets would equal and match computer adoption in January 2014. And then the numbers came out, I think, last week, for the Q1 sales numbers for PCs and for Windows 8 adoption, and they're looking really, really bad. So I could run around the stage, flapping my arms till I'm sweating in the armpits, like a certain CEO from a certain company, and just Google Monkey Boy if you don't know what I'm talking about, and tell you that Windows 9 is going to resuscitate the PC, but I'd be lying to you. I predict by this fall that tablets will surpass computers. Now, I say surpass, and I don't mean replace. Because as Steve Jobs said, when people moved from the farm to the city, they traded in trucks for cars that were smaller with power steering and automatic transmission, but we still need trucks and they haven't gone away. And in that same way, people are going to be experiencing our work on computers for years to come, but they'll experience it more and more on buses, on the smartphones, in bed and on the couch on their iPads. And I bet most of you, I certainly have stayed on the toilet longer because of Facebook on a device, right? So computing has followed the interface. First the keyboard, then the mouse, then touch, and next is the real world, not in the form of wearable computing, not yet, as far as I can tell, but simply around us every day. And we're hoping that interactive installations are a step in the right direction. But until we figure out more, we're going to learn to tell stories better on tablets. So we added a word to our guiding statement, platform. So don't mistake that we're going to make every project for every platform, though. We're going to match the platform and technology to the story and the form the story needs to be told in. So a few forms that we're playing with. So interactive graphic novel. We started our first for-tablet-only project last summer. It was done for kids for high school. It's really small. We wanted to keep the scope small. The project team was made up of a writer, illustrators, animators, programmers, and interactive producers. We adapted this from an actual physical book and re-illustrated and animated to make this little product. It's a reading experience with a soundtrack and simple interactivity. You swipe the pages from right to left in the way that we all know how to do. And I find that this format and projects that like it, that nail it, like Operation Ajax, really are much more entertaining than the PDF ebook formats. So this next project is not released yet. It's our first made-for-tablet project that is a reading experience with the soundtrack and beautiful photography and animation. It's co-created by Jeremy Mendez, who you may know from Bear 71. At its core, it's a great story about a grandson who documents his grandfather's last hunt. His grandfather dodged the draft when he was young in World War II draft, and to be with a woman that he loved and lived in the woods and hunted to survive. He later paid the price, but every year he went back to hunt to remember that time. And this time his grandson, Alexi Hobbs, captured his last hunt. The writing is great. It's easy to read, especially on a retina display. The photos are beautiful. The illustrations give the story additional depth. And the key thing is our take on parallaxing, the vertical scrolling, to read and advance the story. Kinetic movements to power the animations. And it just feels really nice when you do that. Lateral movements to view the photos that you saw before. And then key moments in the story are illustrated to give the project more interactive depth. And there's a grid at the end to look at the photos with as well. So even though it's a reading experience, it's very cinematic. So we're hoping to release the project in June for iPad. So I can't wait till it comes out. And then I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of a project that I'm very, very excited about. It's one of today's most renowned visual artists lives in Vancouver, where my team is based, and we're lucky to have one of his wall-size mural photographs in our atrium. And it tells the story of a riot in Vancouver in one frozen moment in one single frame. But for his next work, he's trying something completely different. We're building a nonlinear environment with an almost unlimited number of frames, 160 pages of script and dialogue, and does not use a single piece of photography. So his name is Stan Douglas, and the project is called Circa 1948, and I'm going to show you a little bit from the tablet edition. We go back in time to 1948 to Vancouver right after World War II. We have a well-off west side and a poor east side of town. We have a class war. We have corruption at government levels. We have racial tension. Things were different, yet oddly similar to today. The first clip you're seeing here is the east side of town, Hogan's Alley, where Jimi Hendrix's grandmother lived, and it's since been bulldozed and torn down and rebuilt, and although there still remains a Jimi Hendrix shrine. This first clip is in fly mode, where you can elevate yourself above the world and fly around. And this is an iPad experience, so you're flying and you turn your device to look left and right and up and down, and then you use your thumbs to move forward and back. So it's pretty significant that an artist of this caliber is creating his next work for iPad and iPhone, and it's incredible how he's painting with code. Stan defines the world of circa 1948 for his illustrators who design it in 3D, and then our team of programmers bring it to life. The second clip I'm going to show you is a sample of the conversations you'll encounter.
What? Are you going to stand there watching me all day?
You've been sweeping this porch for 20 minutes.
I guess I'm all done then.
Well then get.
Yeah?
Yeah, get. If you're all done, you're done. What are you waiting for?
You ain't paid me yet.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, that's so.
Oh, let me see. 15 cents an hour times 0 hours equals... Okay, hang on. Let's see. 0 times 5 is 0.
Yeah.
No, let me finish my calculations. And 0 times 1 is 0. Carry the 0 makes, yep, looks like it's 0.
I've been here all morning.
Half that time you were playing kick the can with those kids like some sort of simpleton. How old are you, 30?
Listen, you got to keep the goodwill with those kids. I'm 33. Otherwise, they'll turn on you like a pack of dogs. Your place to be a target.
So as you move around this world, you see these orbs of light, and the orbs of light represent the ghosts, the souls of the people that are dead and used to live there. And you encounter their conversations, and as you piece together these conversations, you form a larger story. And it's a big experiment for us to create a completely nonlinear dialogue-based story. So we'll see how it goes. And then the last sample I'm going to show you here is some details inside one of the homes. We're in walk mode here. where I'm literally walking, navigating up and down to move forward on my iPad, moving around, looking. We also have a kinesthetic mode, which we don't have a sample of yet. And in that mode, it's pretty cool. You actually can walk with your iPad, and it walks in the story. All right, I'm going to jump to some stuff here in development. The next project we're working on is with Film 4 and Lance Weiler, who spoke earlier. It's a project about big data, and it uses open source hardware that will be used to build connected devices that have inputs and outputs and are connected to the internet. It's a story world bigger than anything we've attempted to date. It combines the connected objects, emerging narrative in the form of short films, and an interactive documentary, all of which are interlinked by an API, an application programming interface, and of course the issues around big data. And now, a project that just launched, a Journal of Insomnia. It's a project that has collected over 2,000 stories from insomniacs and just launched online 2 days ago. You can view the stories by making an appointment and entering in the middle of the night.
My name is Sarah. I am 29, and I've always had insomnia. I don't sleep very well. I guess my mind is usually too active to sleep, or sometimes I'm just not comfortable.
So I signed up, and then I got a call, 1 a.m., my phone rang, and yes, I'm an insomniac, so and letting me know that my window is open. I followed the link and went online, and get this.
Thank you for making an appointment with Sarah. An email with the details has been sent to you.
After this.
Come in. Sarah is here. She's waiting for you.
I feel like there's not really normal nights for sleep. Like, you don't know if you're gonna sleep through the night, you don't know if you're gonna be up all night, you don't know if you'll fall asleep in the beginning, wake up in the middle, fall asleep towards the end, so it's pretty random sleep. There's a million things that like contribute to not sleeping, but you just get used to it.
So it's pretty cool that you can only access these stories by making an appointment and viewing them in the middle of the night. It's a pretty brave and cool thing that my colleague Hugues Sweeney and the team over there, if you guys want to wave, Hugues Sweeney is the producer of the project, and the interactive installation that they built for this is at Storyscapes right now. So please go check it out. And you can, at Storyscapes, you can go into the installation and contribute your story of insomnia, which gets added to this larger UGC collection of stories by insomniacs. And yeah, Storyscapes, it's at the Bombay Sapphire House of Imagination. You guys all know where that is, I'm sure. It's on Varick Street, right? Varick and Dominic. So yeah, thank you very much.